they can send it.
Oh, okay.
You gotta get that up.
Yeah, it was the Youngstown Sheet and Tube that owned most of all. It started officially in 1900.
So was it a separate company from U.S. Steel?
I believe so. It would have to be because Sheet and Tube was Youngstown. U.S. Steel was Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Primarily. I mean, I would think. It does say here in 1923, the Youngstown Sheet and Tube purchased the assets of the Briar Hill Steel Company, also located in Youngstown at Briar Hill, as well as the facilities of the Steel and Tube Company of America in East Chicago and Indiana Harbor. So they're owning stuff all over the place, making it the 5th largest steel maker in the U.S. and the largest employer in the Mahoning Valley. The home plant of YS&T was known as the Campbell Works. I lived in Campbell. My last 3 years of high school. Located in Campbell and Struthers. This plant contained 4 blast furnaces, 12 open hearth furnaces, several blooming mills, 2 Bessemer converters, a slabbing mill, a butt weld, that's what it says, butt weld tube mill, a 79-inch hot strip mill, seamless tube mills, and 9-inch and 12-inch bar mills at the Struthers work. The Briar Hill Works consisted of 2 blast furnaces named Grace and Jeanette, 12 open hearth furnaces, a 40-inch blooming mill, a 35-inch intermediate blooming mill, a 24-inch round mill, 84-inch and 132-inch plate mills, and an electric weld tube mill. During much of the Depression, the Briar Hill Works was shut down, but it reopened in 1937. Much of the reopened plant's production comprised tube grounds for the Campbell seamless tube mills. Due to the imbalance of iron-making and steel-making facilities at the 2 plants, real shipments of molten iron hot metal were sent from Campbell to Briar Hill from 1937 until 1979. In 1916, sheet and tube workers at the East Youngstown plant rioted during a strike over working conditions, which resulted in most of the town's business district being burned to the ground. The strike was quelled by the arrival of the National Guard troops. After the riots, East Youngstown was renamed Campbell in honor of the company's president. In 1937, Youngstown Sheet and Tube played a prominent role in the Little Steel strike, along with Republic Steel, Inland Steel, Bethlehem Steel, and Weirton Steel. The so-called Little Steel group, led by Republic's Tom Girdler, operated independently of U.S. Steel, which had previously signed a labor agreement with the Congress of Industrial Organizations and its subordinate Steelworkers Organizing Committee. Violence during this strike resulted in the deaths of workers in Chicago and Youngstown. The company abruptly closed its Campbell Works and furloughed 5,000 workers on September 19, 1977, a day remembered locally as Black Monday. The Briar Hill Works and the company's plants in Indiana
continue on I-64 west.
were sold to Jones and Laughlin Steel, later acquired by Ling-Temco Vought, a conglomerate. The Briar Hills Works closed in 1979 as part of a continued wave of steel mill closings that devastated the Youngstown economy. The Briar Hill Works was eventually reopened in 1986 by Cargill Corporation under the name North Star Steel. In 2002, Cargill sold the operations to recycling mini mill Vallourec Group, a French conglomerate. The Indiana Harbor Mill continues operating, owned by Cleveland Cliffs.
Raw material like taconite. Because they're obviously not on Lake Erie, but I don't know if there's a river that goes.
Yes,
there.
the Monongahela, the Mahoning River. Well, the Monongahela is not far. Maybe it goes right through.
Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah, so
maybe they got it like large.
I mean, there were rivers. I don't remember large rivers. I mean, the rivers back there were not like the Missouri and the Mississippi, you know. The Ohio was pretty big. But the Ohio is where Weirton Steel was, near the Ohio. And when I worked down in Lisbon, we used Weirton Steel a lot.
I mean, Youngstown, Cartage did.
No, I worked at Youngstown Cartage. I moved to Houston. I worked for Movers Port Service. I moved back to Lisbon, and I worked for Riddle Trucking. But yeah, I'm sure Youngstown used Weirton because it's a big steel mill. I just don't remember. I mean, I was 18, honey.
Well,
18 and 19. What did you do when you worked at 18 and 19? You don't remember. Nor did you have a whole lot of responsibility.
I'm just curious what you do.
But I started at Youngstown Cartage making $65 a week. And I was blown away when I moved to Houston and they offered me $80 a week. I just thought, holy shit, I'm going to be rich.
2 miles, I-270 is on the right.
Full-time employment was $26,000 a year. And that was with my master's degree.
Oh, but back then, I mean, that was 5 or 10 times what it is now.
Well, that would have been in 88. My first, or 87 actually. My first full-time job with my master's was in 88. No, it wasn't 87. Either way. So that was 26,000 in late 80s.
I-270 is on the right, and then keep left onto I-270 south. Keep left onto I-270 south